Savannah Chrisley has opened up about Julie Chrisley's overturned sentence. Despite the setback she and Todd Chrisley saw in court last week, Savannah seems to think that her mom and dad still have a chance at getting their sentences overturned. Keep reading to see what she had to say about it. Court vacates Julie Chrisley's sentence. Todd was sentenced to 12 years in federal prison, while Julie was sentenced to 7 years. They were also ordered to pay $17.2 million in restitution. A jury found the Chrisley Knows Best stars guilty of submitting fake documents to the bank to receive more than $30 million in loans. Peter Tarantino, Chrisley's accountant, is also serving time for his role in the crimes. Both Tarantino and the Chrisleys filed an appeal for their sentences almost immediately. Julie Chrisley said that the prosecutors on the case didn't present enough evidence to back up the claims they were making. They also accused the judge of permitting the jury to see certain evidence that shouldn't have been shown during the trial. Last week, Todd and Julie Chrisley brought their case to the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals. While the court upheld the convictions for the two reality TV stars, they decided to vacate Julie's sentence to allow her to be resentenced. The alleged bank fraud and tax evasion scheme that landed the couple in prison started in 2006, and the court found that there is no evidence that Julie Chrisley played a role in any of it until 2007. Considering she didn't participate in the scheme the entire time with her husband, the court agreed that she should be resentenced. "We're pleased that the court agreed that Julie's sentence was improper, but we're obviously disappointed that it rejected Todd's appeal," Alex Little said of the court's decision. Little is an attorney for Todd and Julie. He continued, "With this step behind us, we can now challenge the couple's convictions based on the illegal search that started the case. The family appreciates the continued support they've received throughout this process. And they're hopeful for more good news in the future." Todd and Julie Chrisley's children have opened up about the court's latest decision as well. Kyle Chrisley, Todd's estranged son, spoke with In Touch Weekly about his dad's sentence. He said, "I'm happy for Julie, but it's really unfortunate that the court found the previous ruling on everything else valid. I'm hoping the next step for my dad is the Supreme Court of Appeals." The couple's daughter Savannah Chrisley also spoke out about the appeals case. "Didn't necessarily go as we hoped. But we do have a little win," she said. "What the ruling means is that the appeals court could not find any evidence that attributed the $17 million loss amount to my mother. And for that, I am grateful, and I hope and pray that the judge can send her home," she shared with her followers in a video on Instagram. Savannah Chrisley also mentioned that she has a few other things in mind when it comes to her dad's case and what can be done to help him. Savannah Chrisley sat in her Nashville living room, sunlight filtering through the large windows and casting a warm glow over the room. The past few years had been a whirlwind of legal battles and emotional turmoil for the Chrisley family. But today, there was a glimmer of hope. Julie Chrisley's prison sentence had been overturned, and for the first time in months, Savannah felt a sense of relief. She took a deep breath, preparing herself for the interview. Across from her sat a journalist from a prominent magazine, eager to capture Savannah's raw emotions and thoughts on the latest development. Savannah smiled, though her eyes betrayed the exhaustion she felt. "It's been a roller coaster, to be honest. When we got the news that Mom's sentence was overturned, it was like a huge weight had been lifted off our shoulders. We've been fighting for so long, and finally, there's a light at the end of the tunnel." She paused, gathering her thoughts. The past few years had been incredibly challenging. Julie Chrisley had been convicted on charges that Savannah still believed were unjust. The family had stood by her side, navigating the legal system and the court of public opinion. "Can you walk us through what this has been like for you and your family?" the journalist prompted. Savannah nodded. "It's been tough. Watching my mom go through this, knowing she didn't deserve it, has been heartbreaking. We've faced a lot of criticism and judgment, but we've also had a lot of support. We've tried to stay strong for each other. My dad, my siblings, we've all had to step up and take on roles we never expected to." She glanced out the window, the memories of the past few years playing out in her mind. The media scrutiny, the court hearings, the moments of doubt and fear, it all felt like a bad dream. But through it all, they had remained united. "What kept you going during the hardest times?" the journalist asked. Savannah smiled, a genuine warmth in her eyes. "Faith, family, and love. We've always been a close-knit family, and this situation brought us even closer. We prayed together, supported each other, and never gave up hope. My mom's strength and resilience have been incredible. Even when things seemed bleak, she never lost her faith." The journalist leaned forward, intrigued. "How did you handle the public's perception and the negative comments?" Savannah's expression turned serious. "It wasn't easy. People can be really harsh and judgmental when they don't know the full story. But I learned to tune out the negativity and focus on what really mattered, my family and the truth. I've always believed in speaking up and standing by what's right, even when it's not popular." She paused, thinking about the online comments and the relentless media coverage. "There were times when it felt overwhelming, but I knew that staying silent wasn't an option. I had to use my voice to defend my mom and our family." The journalist nodded, impressed by Savannah's resilience. "Now that the sentence has been overturned, what's next for your family?" Savannah's smile returned, brighter this time. "We're going to take things one day at a time. First and foremost, we want to bring Mom home and start rebuilding our lives. It's not going to be easy, but we're ready to face whatever comes our way. We're stronger now, and we have a renewed sense of hope." She took a deep breath, the enormity of the situation sinking in. "We've been through so much, but we've also learned a lot. We've learned the importance of family, faith, and resilience. And most importantly, we've learned that justice can prevail." The journalist smiled, sensing the end of the interview. "Savannah, thank you for sharing your story. Your strength and positivity are truly inspiring." As the interview wrapped up, Savannah felt a sense of closure. She had spoken her truth and stood up for her family. The road ahead was still uncertain, but for the first time in a long while, it felt like there was hope. Julie's overturned sentence was a victory, not just for their family, but for anyone who believed in justice and resilience. Later that evening, Savannah sat with her family, sharing a quiet dinner. They laughed and talked, the weight of the past few years slowly lifting.